Well, Patrick Ewing has been forced to work very hard for his points throughout the series. He was held through 3 quarters on Friday night, then broke out in the 4th quarter. The Bulls usually do a strong job defensively against Ewing, and we talked about that with Pat Riley.
They're zeroing in on our main offensive weapon. I mean, they're smart. They know what we're about. They know where, we can hurt them the most, and so they double them, they triple them, they bring 3 big guys in on them. Bill Cartwright has made a career out of it, and also a science out of defending Patrick and post people. So they work Patrick real hard, and he's going to have to get some help. I mean, Charles Smith and Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley, they're going to have to own the other side when they're doing that kind of work on Patrick. But they've done a good job defensively on him.
All right, Mark, during that quarter break, Phil Jackson was emphasizing to the team that they definitely want to keep the pressure on Patrick Ewing, make him work very hard, and hopefully wear him out so that he's not as effective as he was on Friday night in the 4th quarter. On the other hand, with Scottie Pippen out and Kukoc playing well, they've given a chance for Pippen to rest, and maybe he'll be fresh in the 4th quarter today. Mark?
You saw a nice move by Kukoc. Mason able to answer with the corner jump shot as the 2nd quarter gets underway. The Bulls 27 and the Knicks 26. Here's Kukoc snapping it back to Longley. Longley does have the good outside shot, and that was assist number 5 for the man they called the waiter in his European playing days because of the way he sets up his teammates. Tony Kukoc. And now Scottie Pippen is back. Hubert Davis is checked in for the first time. Hubert coming off the bench today. Good defense here by Chicago. Anthony had to force it and is rebounded by Longley. Bonner with the steal attempt and ends up on the floor. The ball will go back for Chicago.
Well, with Paxson, Pippen, and Kukoc, the so-called small players in the ballgame right now, good hustle by Anthony Bonner to take that ball away from Longley. Just cannot save it as it goes out of bounds. They have the unusual backcourt situation. That'll put Pippen as the so-called shooting guard, and he'll be defended by Hubert Davis going the other way. Pippen is looking to guard Greg Anthony because they don't really respect his shot that much. That'll enable Scottie to gamble and get out on the break and maybe get some breakaways.
Kukoc playing with much confidence. Played well first half of the season, then tailed off and had a good playoff series against the Cavaliers. The rejection by Ewing, recovered by Pippen. He checked the shot clock, fires it up. Scott Williams with the hustle play against Greg Anthony, and Williams deflected it out.
Good hustle by Scott Williams as both teams are going for every loose ball. As Kukoc making that drive, able to ward off Anthony Bonner, but Patrick Ewing reading the play beautiful, not only blocking the shot, but keeping it in play, and just the quickness of Scottie Pippen, able to track down that loose ball.
2 minutes gone by in the second. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Chicago Stadium. Game 4 of the best of 7. Pippen got a piece of it. Mason on the recovery. And is rebounded by Pippen.
There's that ability of Pippen able to get away from Anthony and go in and help out, get in the lane and create havoc, and he knocked that ball loose.
Woo! Nice touch pass from Longley, setting up Williams.
That is a beautiful pass by Luke Longley. One of the things the Bulls coaches have think he has a great ability to do to make that instinctive little touch pass, that little drop off to the cutter and things like that. They just don't like him when he's taking a lot of perimeter jump shots.
Bulls lead 31-26. Kukoc with the steal. Tony Kukoc, a major factor here this evening. He was fouled by Gilbert Davis. Time is called. 9:09 remaining first half.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Powerade, the official sports drink of World Cup '94. And the next thing.
Well, the Chicago Bulls, no strangers to overcoming controversy. Flashback to last season's playoff series following game number 1 in New York. Michael Jordan made his little sojourn to Atlantic City, and all broke loose It led to the Bulls losing to the Knicks in game number 2. And Jordan had that 3 for 18 shooting performance and then came right back with the 54 points in game number 3. And the Bulls went on to win 4 straight to knock off the Knicks. Here are the Chicago Bulls coming off the Scottie Pippen incident at the end of game 5. Found one with a palm on Starks. Davis fires, rebounded by Oakley, and a foul on Longley. The Bulls to this point have reacted well after all broke loose concerning Scottie Pippen taking himself out of the game. The Knicks opened up with that 12-0 start, but Chicago able to come back strong. They have outscored the Knicks 31-14 the last 12 minutes. And you get the idea they put it all behind them once again.
Well, they're out there really playing outstanding defense, quick with their feet, active with their hands. They have forced 10 turnovers by the New York Knicks. They're getting their share of fast breaks, and in the half-court setting, guys like Tony Kukoc able to beat people off the dribble and getting good shots for people.
The difference, of course, with the Chicago Bulls these days is number 23 is not on hand. And as a public service, we mentioned that Michael Jordan is, let's see, with the Birmingham Barons opening a 2-game series against Memphis, and they are just getting underway right now. Jordan struck out last night as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .255 in 30 games. Scott Williams. So I'm assuming that Michael is not able to be tuned in for this one here tonight.
Unless they have a television in the dugout.
In the dugout, yes. Here's Starks. Oakley able to wrestle it free. Herb Williams, who came on for Patrick Ewing. Nice touch by Herb Williams, and the Knicks are down by 1.
So far, I'd have to say the Knicks are missing Derek Harper. Their half-court offense has not looked smooth. The one thing that is keeping them close in this ballgame is the 6 offensive rebounds by Charles Oakley.
And Kukoc foul. Starks throwing himself at the combination of Pippen, who was setting a screen, and Kukoc. Starks with a second. Looks like Pippen was shaken up, as was Kukoc.
Well, as it was said at the beginning of this series, just about every play there's going to be some kind of a confrontation. Here we have the collision actually between Starks and Pippen as Kukoc took that shot right above the right hip.
And both Pippen and Kukoc took the brunt of that shot. Both appear to be all right. Bill Wennington, who played well in a 7-minute stint on Friday, has come on for Luke Longley, who sits down 2 of 4 points. Scott Williams, Bill Wennington, Horace Grant on the front line, Scottie Pippen, and B.J. Armstrong now in the backcourt. Grant with the hustle rebound. Armstrong off the fake. And a foul call. Bennett Salvatore indicating a block on Mason. Tony Kukoc back on the bench. For more on that, let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, Tony Kukoc took a shot to his right hip. Chip Schaefer, the trainer, told me he's fine. What they want to do is put some ice on it, and he'll be able to play. Marv?
A technical foul was just called on Anthony Mason. Pat Riley has been attempting to calm Mason down. Anthony Mason gets involved excessively in arguing with the officials, and it has cost him. It has hurt Mason and the ball club. And now Riley pointing at Mason, who ran over to him. And they had a brief discussion. Anthony Mason among the leaders. That is a dubious distinction among the leaders in technical fouls. That was a dangerous pass thrown by Wennington, but able to get away with it as Grant put it down.
Well, that was, Marv, but they're making a lot of good passes, and when you move the ball like that against the New York Knicks, their defense cannot catch up with it. They'd like you to put the ball in the basket and move in that east-west direction rather than north-south, but the Bulls are beating them both ways.
Davis ran into Wennington. A tough follow. And a foul called on the Bulls. 7:19 remaining in the second quarter. Bulls lead 34-30, and off this battle for the loose ball. Bill Wennington is called for that foul from behind.
Charles Oakley, one of the more difficult customers in the NBA to keep off the offensive board. He has 7 of them right now, and you have to start early with him. You have to get a body on him before he gets around the basket because he is just too strong and takes up too much space.
Charles 3 of 4 from the line. Very much involved in the offense here in the first half, coming off a quiet game on Friday night. Patrick Ewing is back, replacing Herb Williams. So the Knicks have Ewing, Oakley, and Smith up front. Starks and Davis in the backcourt. That means that John Starks will operate as the point guard in this combination. Bulls lead 34-32.
It'll be interesting with this lineup to see if the Bulls get to the foul line, if they put their full court press on, especially with Anthony Mason out of the ballgame, who is usually the guy the Knicks use to break the trap.
Armstrong on a pull-up. Grant able to get to it. Oh, Scottie Pippen nearly stepped on the line. Pat Riley thought he did. Horace Grant with 6 points, and the Bulls now lead by 4. But Jake O'Donnell indicated that Pippen did not make contact with the midcourt line. Would have been a backcourt violation. Here's Davis for 3. Rebounded by Grant. Horace Grant, very quiet off the boards. First 2 games has come to life in that department. Scott Williams off the good look from Scottie Pippen. The Bulls playing very smart basketball. Lead now by 6.
Every mistake by the New York Knicks, the Bulls are cashing in, and they're doing it with excellent passing and unselfish team play. A mix-up defensively as Patrick Ewing fell asleep, didn't realize that Scott Williams was playing the center position, and they get the easy lay-in. As that loose ball came out to Scottie Pippen, Jake O'Donnell, the referee there, does not have the best angle, but makes the right call as Scottie Pippen's heel was above the line as Pat Riley thought he saw it differently as he pointed Jake O'Donnell, but not a big argument.
Bulls have a 6-point lead as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in the half. Smith. Good play by Scott Williams. Knocked it away from Charles Smith, leaving 7 on the shot clock. The Knicks with 11 turnovers in this first half, and the Bulls with only 1. 11 turnovers by New York. Nice play by Starks, setting up Smith. Bulls 38, the Knicks 34. Scott Williams working against Charles Smith. Williams isolated, does not have the shot, and is fouled. Charles Smith called for his second.
During that last timeout, Ahmad Rashad telling us from the Bulls bench that Bill Jackson wanting his front line of Grant, Wennington, and Scott Williams to run the floor as hard as possible. They don't feel the Knicks are getting back defensively in transition, in particular the front line in New York.
Horace Grant has been hitting the outside shot throughout this series. Williams taking advantage of another Knick turnover, setting up Pippen. The Bulls 42 and the Knicks 34. Well, Pat Riley telling us before the game his intent was to not fall over the first 3 quarters, to fall behind as they have in the previous games. Patrick Ewing with a strong move. He has 8 points, and the Knicks were able to ignite at the start. They led 12-0, but the Bulls have come back with this furious rush. And again, we could be in a situation that's an offensive foul on Williams. It could come down to the 4th quarter again for the Knicks, as it has the previous 3 games.
Now Scottie Williams driving the right baseline as hard as he can to draw the defense, and the maybe early celebration here, but the Bulls taking advantage of every opportunity, and the crowd, no question, has been a big factor in this first half.
Scott Williams with a strong effort. Sitting down, 7 points for Williams, who has always been a spark during the playoffs. Bill Wennington also heads to the bench. Bill Cartwright is back. Pete Myers has come on. The Bulls bench accounting for 17 points. They have certainly lifted this club in the first half. The Bulls have outscored the Knicks 42-24 after that 12-0 start and a foul call. It's on Cartwright, his second. Earlier today, as we finish things up, third part of our NBA triple-header playoff coverage on NBC, Indiana Pacers with a 102-86 victory over Atlanta. They are now up 3-1. And how about Houston? After losing 2 straight at home, they beat Phoenix twice in Phoenix. 107-96 the final this afternoon. Akeem Olajuwon at 28 points. That series is now tied at 2. Here comes Pippen. Armstrong. Got the step on Starks. Bulls 44. The Knicks 36.
Well, Anthony and Oakley went crashing to the floor at the other end, and that opened up the fast break chance for the Chicago Bulls. So far, B.J. Armstrong somewhat quiet, now 2 for 7, and he has been having an outstanding offensive series.
Oh, the strip by Myers took it out of the hands of Starks. Pippen with the look away for Armstrong. The Bulls open up a 10-point lead. Starks and Myers almost got involved. Little shove from Starks as the 22nd timeout was called.
And it doesn't matter who Phil Jackson puts into the ballgame. Every player he picks comes up with a big play. Here's Pete Myers coming from behind to take it away from John Stark. And look at the nice little look-off by Scottie Pippen to deliver to B.J. Armstrong. Scottie Pippen, one of the best in the league, handling on the break.
And the story of this series, the extra push, the extra nudge. We've seen it right throughout, and that has led to explosives right here as the 22nd timeout was called. Starks and Myers got involved. These are both fiery guys. A little extra shove that time by John Starks, getting involved with one-time New York Knick, Pete Myers.
Well, when you're guarding an outstanding player who runs the baseline and uses screens, you have to keep body contact. Now, it's up to the officials to decide what is too much, and it's also up to the players to adjust to how the game is being called.
3:45 to go in the half, and the Knicks now trail the Bulls by 10. Cartwright doing the job fronting Ewing now, trying to help out on Starks. Charles Oakley complaining that he was fouled.
John Starks doing a terrific job of just driving the ball to the basket as hard as he can to try to create some plays, and he's doing an outstanding job so far today.
Armstrong could not handle that snap pass from Cartwright. Here's Anthony. Look, Anthony not able to put it down. But the Knicks get the new 24.
Greg looks a little bit tight. He had a fast break in the first quarter and didn't take the shot, threw it behind him. There he had a clean layup and just squeezed it out of his hand. He's not loose.
Well, the other night, Pat Riley went with Corey Gaines for 15 minutes down the stretch of the game. Starks called for the offensive foul. I asked Pat why Gaines rather than come back with Anthony, and he said, well, sometimes there are other agendas involved when Greg Anthony is on the floor looking a bit too much for the shot, and he knows with a guy like Gaines, as you watch the offensive foul by Starks, all he wants to do is distribute the ball, and that's it. That's what they were looking for. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Stadium with 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the first half, and the Bulls with a 46-38 lead on the Knicks. John Starks sitting down after collecting his third foul. The Knicks with 14 turnovers. They averaged 16 per game this series. The Bulls with only 3. Starks with 4 of those 14 turnovers. Armstrong and Myers in the backcourt. Cartwright, Grant, and Pippen up front. Cartwright called for steps. Traveling violation. So a rare turnover committed by Chicago.
Phil, that time actually got a little help from Patrick Ewing on the shove out, and in his effort to try to get around Patrick Ewing, took the extra step, and a good call by referee Jake O'Donnell on the baseline.
Anthony and Davis in the backcourt on the Knicks with Oakley, Smith, and Ewing up front. Smith getting position and then foul. Charles Smith was able to set up down low. Took the hit from Horace Grant for Grant his first.
Every time the Knicks run a screen across in the lane, that big man wants to stop dead, as Charles Smith did there with excellent position inside. And there is no double or triple team that can stop you there, although the Bulls defense did converge to commit that foul. But every time they run that screen across, either for Charles Smith or Ewing, it's been a good opportunity.
Charles Smith made it back from arthroscopic knee surgery. Played well against the Nets in the first round of the playoffs. Has not been getting that same kind of playing time against the Bulls. That's because Anthony Mason has emerged in the series against Chicago. And Mason in the series against the Nets was coming back from that 3-game suspension. So I don't think things were that comfortable at the time for Mason, but a different story in this series. Bulls lead 46-39 as we come up on 2 minutes to go in the first half. Marv Albert, Frank Kukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Chicago Stadium. Pippen, yes. 12 points from Pippen. He's played very well. 5 of 9 from the field, along with 4 rebounds. He picked up the 2 early fouls, and when he went out, Tony Kukoc coach came on and played brilliantly. Here's Oakley, open shot. Oakley able to chase it down. They doubled up on Ewing, and the pass picked off. Armstrong protecting the ball well against Anthony. Oh, Anthony caught Pippen with the right hand, and that is a foul. Jake O'Donnell calling the foul. A hard foul by Anthony, and he's calling it a flagrant foul.
I think it's just going to be 2 shots, Marv, as he's going to call it an intentional elbow and a high one to the head area. Actually catches Scotty right under the chin. Not a flagrant foul, but an elbowing foul. It'll be 2 shots for Pippen.
Right, an intentional, as you say, not a flagrant.
Scottie Pippen is just clearing to the corner there, and I don't think Anthony meant anything in the beginning of the play, but as Pippen started to bear down on him a little bit, that arm went up and the elbow right to the Adam's apple of Scottie Pippen, and a foolish foul right in front of the referee, or any time for that matter.
So the Bulls now lead 50-39. A minute and 20 remaining in the first half. Crowd reacting as Ewing was battling for possession. Down to 1 minute remaining, first half. For Cartwright. 45 seconds to go in the half. Smith. Nice move by Charles Smith. He has 9 points. The Bulls 50 and the Knicks 41. Pippen's pass battled away. Armstrong up for recovery. It's a 3-pointer for B.J. Armstrong. He now has 10, and the Bulls lead by 12.
B.J. was aware of the shot clock there, or I should say the second quarter clock, 32 seconds, a 2-for-1 situation. It looked like a rush shot, but a smart one.
Illegal defense. Called out the Bulls, so that will be a technical foul. It's their second violation. Tony Kukoc getting set to come on.
The defense by both teams in this first half has been frenetic, outstanding by both ball clubs. But in the case of New York and their half-court offense, they are being forced to rush everything. And Scottie Pippen goes to the bench to the tremendous ovation here at Chicago Stadium, as he has had an unbelievable first half. And there was some concern as to how he would play today and how he would be received by this fans. So far, those questions have been answered.
Scottie Pippen, 5 of 9, 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. 19 seconds to go in this first half. a 12-point lead as the Knicks hold for a final shot. Anthony able to beat Armstrong off the dribble. Anthony stripped from Myers. Myers for Kukoc gets it off. Would not have counted. So Pippen with 14. Hopefully leading the Knicks to 11. And the Bulls have a 53-41 lead on the Knicks. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report with Bob Costas after this from your local station.